Hello and welcome. Today I want to talk about why monthly mentoring makes a difference. And I'm talking about monthly mentoring about your numbers. Do you ever feel like you just don't know what the numbers are? Are you the sort of person that never looks at your numbers from one month to the next and only perhaps looks at them when your accountant gives you your financial statements and tax returns to sign after the end of the year? Or maybe you look at it quarterly when the bookkeeper puts some numbers in front of you for a quarterly report. It's really important to look at your numbers on a monthly basis. And I want to talk to you about a particular example, just so you get a feel for what this might look like for you. A client approached me, had a bit of a bad run with bookkeepers, working for a period of time and then leaving. Just this whole challenge around having the information up to date. And I think they had originally had some of their information in one system, and they were changing to, they had stuff in MYOB, and they were still running their payroll in MYOB, or they were running their payroll in Xero, but some of the other stuff was in MYOB. It was a bit of a mishmash, and it just wasn't providing the business owner with any idea of what was happening in the business. So yes, she was aware of what the sales were, she had records of the sales, she kind of knew what her bills were to pay, but she never really knew whether she was making money, what her margins were, what the cash flow looked like moving forward. Just too many pieces of the puzzle were missing, and she didn't have a clear picture. So he approached me and we started working together, and I worked kind of a series of steps. So the first step is always to look after, what is your system? Have you got it working well? And the importance of having the numbers up to date on a daily basis. At worst, weekly. Anything more than that, and you do not have your finger on the pulse of what's going on in the numbers in your business, and you're flying blind, and it's just really hard when you've got a blindfold on. You've got a jigsaw puzzle, you've got 90% of the pieces missing. How do you see what the picture is? You can't. Got to be updated. So first thing is putting in systems in place to make sure that you are getting your accounting system regularly updated. Everything is in it. That's invoices, bills to pay, everything. Reconcile the works. Everything. So first thing. Second thing then was, in this particular case, there was inventory. This particular client is a product-based business, and one of the big challenges was there's no inventory system, and they weren't keeping stock takes. They maybe did one once a year. Really no idea. So no idea of what the gross margin was on a regular basis. And I've talked about gross margin before. It's so important to know what your markup is, what your gross margin is, and keep an eye on that. And yes, with multiple products with different markups and things, it's a different mix. But nonetheless, it's important to have that information more accurate. So we put in place systems to help them with their inventory control, stock taking, that whole 9 yards around the inventory. Getting that in place, making that happen, a series of other questions along the way, and then from there we start working on the budgets, because now we have some accurate information in the history to look at to go, okay, that's what used to happen, now what have we got moving forward, what's changed, what's different, what do we want to do differently that will impact the numbers. We started working on the budget, and then following on from that, also obviously the cash flow. And that's where the magic happens. Because when you start to really delve into those, you can really see what's happening in the business. You can work out, if you're a service-based business, whether your team are taking longer than you think to deliver the services that you've budgeted on, so many hours and they're taking longer. Also then getting into the nitty-gritty detail of the overhead and variable costs. So how much money is being spent on advertising, how much money is being spent on different things. Looking at the detail of that and delving into that. Looking at those numbers on a monthly basis. Knowing what's happened in last month, you can tweak for the next month and make a difference. The challenge when you only look at your numbers every quarter or every year, it's too late. Months and months have gone past when you could have made a difference, but you didn't look at the numbers, so you couldn't make a difference. Looking at your numbers on a monthly basis will make a difference. I've had clients that have increased their gross margin by 30%, increased profits by hundreds of thousands of dollars. It makes a big difference. Make sure that you're looking at your monthly reports. And if you want to check out what you know and what you don't know and how those monthly reports might help, I've got a business barometer quiz. Test the barometer, the temperature of your business. I'll put the link below. And just make sure you're looking at those numbers. Take the test, see what it tells you. You may find you're doing fine. You may find you need some help. And if you need help, reach out. We're here to help and to provide you with more information to help you to understand your numbers and grow your business.